tonight I want to talk to you guys about how to build business credit. And the reason I want to talk to you about how to build business credit is because there is no way I would be on this stage today unless I discovered how to build business credit. Make sense? Awesome. So, man, this clearing was fast. All right. So my name is Mr. Murphy. I'm a 3-time best-selling author. I've invested in over 1,000 rental units around the country, not just in one state, around the country. I'm an Army veteran, multiple business owner. Wow, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Love our veterans. And the reason I share a lot of these things is because when I became a best-selling author, I was able to not only help other people become authors, I was able to help other authors become best-selling authors. So I'm really big on helping people bridge the gap between where they are right now and where they want to be. So once I figure out how to get started investing in real estate, I went back and helped many other people get started investing in real estate. So today my goal is I want to teach you all how to not only fix your credit, but I want to teach you how to get access to over, say it with me, $100,000 in credit. Does that sound good? Heck yeah. So first of all, I want to thank every one of you for being here. I'm looking around the room, and this house is packed. Like every one of you were at dinner, and you all rushed back to be here today and tonight. And I am extremely grateful for all of you that came here tonight. Seriously, it means the world to me. So I want to tell you a quick story about how Walter and I met. I was living up in Vermont. I had a company there. The company was called Grunts Move Junk. Our mission was to put our Army veterans, or military veterans, back into the workforce. We started in one location, Vermont. We moved down to Massachusetts, and then we franchised into Texas and Arizona. And then I sold the entire company and moved into the e-commerce world, and real estate, of course. But when I was selling that company, I met Walter at an event, and Darina, and a few other people that are actually in this room today, and that was about 4 years ago. And I remember sitting in that room thinking, man, how awesome would it be to be on stage one day sharing my story with so many other people so that one day maybe they could be on that stage. Does that sound good? Is there anyone in this room that wants to be on the stage in a few years? Wow, raise them up high. I want to see how many people would love to be on this stage. It's incredible, right? Because when you're able to get on the stage, you're able to influence and impact the lives of more people, right? Like, if I'm being honest, I pretty much never answer my phone. I don't have time for it because it's one-to-one calls. And the Zoom calls, even those are a big time commitment for me, but I jump on there as often as I can because I know that when I get on those calls, I'm able to help tweak some pieces for people that can really bridge the gap. And that's really what it's about, right? You guys saw my book up there. The book's called Serve to Win. And really that book just talks about the 8 principles that I learned in business and life that allowed me to generate the wealth that I have and the passive income that I have. So if you guys are looking to create passive income, it really comes down to the one core principle of that book, and it's serving others. Does that sound good? I think everyone in this room has that deep down inside them, right? Awesome. So you're going to hear a lot of speakers up here talk about goals. And by the end of this event, you're probably going to write your goals down multiple times. How many of you write your goals down now? Awesome. The reason we have you write your goals down not only once, but multiple times is because repetition leads to success. So I want to ask you a question. What are your goals for this weekend? Do you guys want to go ahead and write them down right now? What are your goals for this weekend? Take a second and go ahead and write them down. If you want to play just 1 minute worth of music, let them take a second to write their goals down. Awesome. So what is one goal for this weekend? And what is one goal that you'd like to accomplish by the end of the year? All right, so while you're doing that, I want to introduce you to a great friend of mine. His name's Chris Kelly, and he set a goal to become a millionaire. Now, Chris reached out to me because he was interested in real estate, and one day I went live on Facebook saying how I was going to buy $1 million worth of real estate in the next 12 months. And I've never met Chris before this date, but when he reached out to me, he said, hey, let's just grab a coffee. So we met for a coffee. I never got his phone number, and he was talking to me about how to buy auction homes. And since I was a real estate agent at the time, I knew there was an auction that weekend. Well, Chris and I actually went to that auction, bidded on the house, won the house before I ever had Chris's cell phone number. But in just 5 years, Chris was able to become a millionaire. And Chris said one day, he goes, it took me 15 years to save $120,000 working his job, but it took him 5 years to make $900,000 when we started working together. I said $900,000. Like, make some noise for Chris. That's pretty awesome, right? So Chris is now a millionaire. And the reason I share this with you is because you have to network with the people around you, right? Does that make sense? Perfect. Awesome. So go ahead and pair up now and share your goals with the people next to you. And go ahead and take about 2 minutes to share your goals with each other. You've only wrote down 2 goals each, so 2 minutes each to share those goals so we can make those dreams a reality. So a minute ago, I asked a few of you, how many of you wanted to be on this stage? Raise your hand if you wanted to get a chance to be on this stage this time. Awesome. Awesome. Raise your hand if you're terrified of being on this stage. Terrified. Absolutely terrified. Why don't I see any hands? Okay, it's perfect. All right, so everyone raise your hand that wants to be on the stage. I'm going to pick someone that doesn't raise their hand. Raise them up if you want to be on this stage. Raise them high. All right, someone that doesn't have their hand up. Keep them up if you want to be on the stage. Keep them up, keep them up. Who doesn't want to be on this stage? Who doesn't want to be on the stage? There he is. Ben. Ben, come on up here, Ben. Give Ben a round of applause. Ben, thank you so much, man. All right, buddy. Are you ready? Do we have a mic for Ben? Can we get a mic? Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for coming up here. Wow. All right, Ben. Introduce yourself. Tell them where you're from.
I'm Ben, and I'm from Boston.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. It's so voluntary.
Yeah, I love it. Can we get a picture with Ben here? Look at this. Say, next year I'm going to be on the stage. Ready? Next year I'm going to be on the stage.
Next year I'll be on the stage.
I love it. So, Ben, what's your goals currently? By the end of the weekend, what is something you want to achieve?
Yeah. Just to meet people.
You want to meet people and network?
Yeah.
Who's the person you want to meet? Yeah. Dig deep, man. Let them know what you really want.
After we had dinner last night, my real goal is just to have one more conversation with you by the end of the weekend.
Look at this.
And then
Are we making dreams come true? I love it.
Hopefully then I'll buy one of those e-commerce businesses.
Yes, let's get started, man. I love it. And what about one goal for the end of the year?
Probably try to buy it by the end of the year.
And you do? That's awesome. So what is it you do now, Ben?
I was wholesaling. I run a wholesaling business. And a couple months ago, I flipped to really spend most of my time on the investing side of things.
Awesome, man. That's incredible.
It's
incredible.
Fun.
Now, do you have a long-term goal?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Have you set goals in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And have you achieved those goals?
I've hit them.
You've hit them.
It's been a roller coaster ride.
It's been a roller coaster ride.
Up and down.
Nice. No, and that's true, right? How many of you have set goals where you've reached them, or sometimes you set goals that are small just so you can reach them? Have you guys ever done that? Awesome. Ben, I think, you stepping up here today shows me that you're unstoppable. Give it up for Ben. I love it, Ben. Hey, can I ask you one more question? What's credit to you? What is credit? When we talk about credit, what is that?
The ability to use other people's money.
Use other people's money. Does that sound right? You guys agree? Use other people's money. Now, before we dive too much into credit, I just want to ask Ben one question. Ben, would you let me borrow $100,000 from you? If you just met me. After our dinner. If you just met me, if I just walked up to you today and we were on the streets, let's do. Hey, Ben, how are you? My name's Mitch. Can I borrow $100,000?
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Is that not credit? Is that credit in one sentence? Right? So credit to me is you have to build relationships, right? Like if we met last night and we talked and you understood what I was doing in real estate, some of the things I've done in the past, right? Buying 1,000 units, it makes it easier to get credit. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. Dude, I am so proud of you for getting up here today. Guys, Ben is incredible. So when it comes to credit, I want you guys to understand, it's very important to build relationships first, right? Awesome. And we're going to dive into that today. Fantastic. Is there anything else you want to say to the crowd? This is your chance to shine.
No, it was a pleasure. Adios.
Ben! Make some noise for Ben! Yes! All right, anyone else want to come up on stage? Anyone else terrified? Terrified. I love it. Listen, 4 years ago, when we were sitting in the audience, I could just feel the energy of being on stage. Like, it's a different feeling when you're up here, right? Can you, like, how many of you get nervous? You guys ever get nervous? It's a real thing, right? Well, sometimes when you do the things that make you uncomfortable, you actually get better at it, right? Like, imagine if you were Ben and you didn't want to come up on stage, but then you decided to just actually move forward, take a step into the unknown, and now you all know what Ben's goals are, right? How many of you here are willing to help Ben achieve his goals? Heck yeah, right? But that's what happens when you take a step into the unknown. You have to be willing to take that step. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. And sometimes talking about credit makes people uncomfortable. Is anyone in here, every time I say getting credit, is there any Dave Ramsey fans in here? Used to. Dave Ramsey will get you to 0. Not to the million. Awesome. All right, perfect. So I want to ask you guys all wrote down your goals, you all shared your goals. I want to ask you a question. How would $100,000 in interest-free money help you achieve that goal? Close your eyes for a second. Imagine you have $100,000 available to you right now. How would that help you? Could you imagine what you could do in your business with $100,000? Go ahead and open them up. I can remember when I first got started in my business, trying to get started investing in real estate, and the big thing that always blocked me was, man, I could buy that property if I just had the money. You guys ever say that, right? I've seen deals. I see deals everywhere, but I don't have the money. So was that the only one, or you guys feel that way too? I know, it happens sometimes. But did you know that there are people that want to lend your money? There's people in this room, in fact, that will probably lend you money as long as you build a relationship. Is there anyone in this room that has capital that they want to put into a deal right now? All right, come see me after. All right. No, but really though, I'm serious. There are people in this room that have capital that they want to lend. They have money they want to put into the marketplace, but they don't have deals. Is there people in this room, wholesalers, real estate agents, that are able to find deals? Raise your hand if you have deals. All right, raise your hand if you have money. Keep them up. Raise your hand if you have deals. That's 80% of the room. We could be making deals tonight, right? Let's go. Let's go. Make some noise. Yes. Awesome. All right. So not only are there investors in this room that have money that they want to invest, also banks, right? If you guys bring a business plan to a bank and you say, hey, I got this great idea, what are they going to say? Maybe. I mean, honestly, right? Banks don't always want to lend. It's a risk factor. It's a big risk factor whenever you're starting a new business. But if you have a business in place and you can show a track record, they're more likely to lend to you. In fact, banks are giving away $50,000 to $100,000 pretty easy. If you have a good business and you're making cash, they'll lend to you. They want to lend. Banks get paid when they lend. Does it make sense? Yes or yes? Awesome. And the other option, what I love, is credit cards. Anyone in here love credit cards? Anyone in here have more than one credit card? Raise your hand if you have more than one credit card. All right, keep them up. Keep your hand up if you have more than 2 credit cards. Keep them up if you have more than 3 credit cards. Look around the room. Anyone that's afraid of credit, look around the room. A room full of millionaires and future millionaires are all using credit. So if you're on the edge, you're afraid of credit, look at this. Keep them up if you have more than 4 credit cards, 5 credit cards, 6 credit cards, 7 credit cards, 8 credit cards. Does anyone in here have more than 10 credit cards? Let's go. Stand up. Stand up. Let's see those people. Give them a round of applause. Look at all the money they have. Look at all the money they have. Yes. Credit cards are a great way to scale your business if used correctly. Now, if you had $100,000 and you closed your eyes a minute ago, I asked you, what would you do with that money? Would you invest in a deal? Raise your hand if you would invest in a deal if you had $100,000. Awesome. Put them down. Raise your hand if you would invest in inventory, marketing, or hiring more people if you had the money to do it. It's a little bright up here. Keep them up high. I can just barely see you guys. Awesome. Raise your hand all the way up in the air if I can. Okay, perfect. And if you had $100,000 and there was an education platform available to you that could help you bridge that gap between knowledge and action, would you take action on that? Yeah, because listen, I've invested like all these other coaches out here. way more than 6 figures in education. If you go to college, it's more than 6 figures, right? And coaching and mentorship, same thing to me, right? If you have a coach that can steer you directly in your industry specifically, it helps. So that $100,000, if you had $100,000, could you make more than $10,000 on that? What? What? Yes, I love it. All right, could you make more than 50 grand if you had $100,000? Amazing, guys. You guys are incredible. Give yourself a round of applause. Awesome.